Hi friends, welcome to Oracle Programming Channel. In the 6th lesson of Oracle for beginners, I told you about SQL Plus and basic SQL Plus commands. Today I am going to tell you about basic SQL Plus commands. This is part 2 of 3 parts in the series of understanding basic SQL Plus commands. In part 1, I was showing you how to set some of the system variables. To fetch all system variables or environment variables, type show all or SHO all. SHO all. Once you type SHO all, you get all the system variables and their respective values. To fetch a particular system variable or environment variable, type show or SHO system variable name. The red part of the command should be typed as it is and the dark blue part is your input. In all my tutorials, the same color scheme is maintained. Red text are Oracle keywords should be typed as they are displayed here and the blue ones are your input. For SQL Plus commands, no semicolon at the end of the command is required, unlike SQL and PLSQL commands. So SHOLIN will show you the line size variable's value. SHO page size will show you the page size value and so on. Next, auto commit. To set auto commit on or to a specific number or off, type set auto commit or auto on or a number or off. Default is off. Once the auto commit is on, then all inserts, updates and deletes are immediately saved to the database. When auto commit is set to a number, then SQL Plus will commit save after every that number of successful SQL statements. Meaning, if auto commit is set to 2, then after every 2 successful SQL statements, SQL Plus will save data in the database. I will set auto commit to 2 and show you how it works. So, set auto to, then I issue 2 insert statements, that is insert into numTest values 116.97 and then insert into numTest values 129.95. Now here the commit is executed, that means these 2 insert statements are now saved in the database. Next, SQL prefix. It helps you to execute an SQL Plus command in the middle of an SQL statement or PLSQL block. And you can continue with your SQL statement or PLSQL block after that. To set SQL prefix, type SQL pre followed by a character. Keep it to a symbol. The default is hash symbol. I'll show you how it works. First, I will start an SQL query statement and then I will use SQL prefix. That is, select star from numTest. I have not yet completed this SQL query. Here, I'll use SQL prefix, that is DSC, numTest, that is to describe the table. And then I will use the semicolon to execute my SQL query. And I will get the output. So that is, while running an SQL query, I could still use this SQL prefix and issue an SQL Plus command. I will change the hash symbol to caret symbol. That is set SQL pre to caret. It is only one character. Now I will start an SQL insert statement and then I will use SQL prefix. That is insert into numTest and again I will use describe numTest. Get it. Continue with my insert statement 0.94 and I can create a row. Now I will start a PLSQL block and then I will use SQL prefix. That is begin for x in 1 to 10 loop. I put dbms output dot put line. The number is x end loop. Now I will use SQL prefix caret DSC numTest and then I will continue with the PLSQL block and execute the block. I get the output. So I could use SQL Plus command of describing a table in the middle of a SQL query an SQL insert statement and PLSQL block using SQL prefix. That's how it works. There is a great facility in SQL PLUS that you can spool the output of an SQL query into a file, and you can keep that file in your desired location. That is spool. To spool output into a file, the command is spool file name with a path to get the file in that location. To stop spool, type spool off. This is after you have spooled the output. I will spool the data of test streams table. The way to do is spool file name with a path, that is test streams 1.spl. So I have the complete path and the file name, and then I run my query. Once the output is spooled, don't forget to turn the spool off, else whatever you type after this will be spooled in the spool file, and if you open the spool file, you will not get the output. See what happens. So as you can see, there is no output here as I have not turned the spool off. Now I type spool off. Now let us see what we get. Now it says this file has been modified by another program. Do you want to reload it? Yes. And you get the output. Now the output has come in the file. Here the heading keeps on repeating after every page of SQL PLUS. So it is better to knock out the heading in the output. To remove heading while spooling, type set heading or head or HEA off. The default is on. Set HEA off. I'll spool again. Spool E clone test streams 2 with SPL. Run the same query. Select star from test streams. Spool off. As you see, the output will not have a heading. So you get rid of unwanted repetitive heading, but we see blank lines for heading still appears. To remove that, use set page size command that I told you in part 1 of Introduction to SQL PLUS. Now I will set the page size to 110 and see how the spool file looks like. I'll spool again. Test streams 3.spl. Run the same query. Spool off. In this file, there is no heading, no blank spaces between rows, but horizontally, there are trailing blank spaces. This area I'm talking about. These trailing blank spaces take the line size set in the session of SQL PLUS where I got the spool from. To remove trailing blank spaces in a spool file, type set trim spool or trims on. The default is off. Let us do and see the result. Set trims on. We'll spool again. Spool test trims 4.spl. We'll run the same query. Select star from test trims. Spool off. Now you see the trailing blank spaces are gone. This reduces the amount of data written in the spool file and the size of the spool file. Also makes spooling faster. So you saw how I spool output of an SQL query in this file, then how I removed heading by set heading off, then remove the blanks coming for headings by setting the page size, and then finally the trailing blank spaces by setting trims on. There was no need for creating 4 files. I did it to make it clear to you. If you create the spool file by the same name with some changes in the system variable or the query, SQL PLUS will override the output in that file. You can also save an SQL statement in a file and keep it for future use. To save an SQL statement in a file, the command is save file name with the path replace. Replace will remove the existing file of the same name, if any, from the location. I type the query numtest2, press enter, get the output, and then I type save test.sql replace. That's all. I get in test.sql, I get the query saved. So the query is saved in a file. This way you can save an SQL statement in a file and run when you need it. Remember, you type the query, get the output, and then you type save file name with a path, then replace. Your query will be saved in a file like this. To run a saved SQL file, you use start file name with a path or at file name with a path. So I will run the SQL file that I saved sometimes back. I put at and I paste the file name, SQL file name, and I run. I get the output. Next is SQL Plus displays the SQL before it is executed. You can switch it on if you need it. That is called echo. To set echo on, type set echo on or off. Default is off. So right now, echo is off. If I switch it on, I type set echo on and then I run the same file. You can see the difference. Here, it displays the query that was stored in this file and then gives you the output. That's the difference between echo on and echo off. This one without echo, that is echo off. This is with echo on. That's the difference. Sometimes back, I type a small subprogram to show you how SQL prefix worked. You saw the output also. Now, to display the output of a subprogram, first you should set server output on. This should be typed as it is, no space in server output. This setting controls SQL Plus to display the output generated by the DBMS output package. It may seem a little confusing to you at this stage, but as we move forward, this package will be used many times. In simple words, if you write a subprogram or a program that gives an output, you use this DBMS output package to display the output. A package is a database object that keeps logically related programs and subprograms in a group. Just like in a folder on our computer, we keep all the related documents and give it an appropriate name. The same way here, the related documents are programs and subprograms, and the folder is the package. To display the output of a subprogram or program, DBMS output dot put line and within parentheses the expression. Remember, when you're trying to get the output displayed, first you set server output on. I will type and execute the same subprogram that I typed some time back. Now the server output is off. See what happens. Begin. For x in 1 to 10 loop, DBMS output dot put line within quote, the number is x, end loop, and end. I execute this and this is what I get. PL SQL procedure successfully completed. No output comes. It doesn't display. Now I set the server output on. Set server output on. Then I type the same subprogram again. Begin. For x in 1 to 10 loop, DBMS output dot put line, the number is x, end loop, end, and then I execute and I get the output. So that's how it works. It's a very useful tool, I can say. That's all for this lesson. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Your comments are really valuable to me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, share and subscribe. And please don't forget to press the bell icon to get notifications of all my future tutorials. Thanks a lot for watching.